Hello, good morning to everyone. My name is Diego Bernardez. Nice to meet you all. Well, my presentation is related with another mean of mobility, which is the autonomous last mile shuttles, which we define as the future for the urban mobility. So first of all, I would like to give an introduction of my company, which is the CTAG, the Galician Automotive Technology Center. And then we will focus more on this shuttle and these different ways of mobility that are coming for the next years. And I think that they will have a lot of challenges, but also very good results. So CTAG, the Galician Automotive Technology Center, it's a research and development technological center, which is mainly focused in the automotive and the mobility sector. We are placed in the northwest of Spain, so above Portugal. And this is a little bit our figures. We are around 1,200 employees, mainly of all engineers working on different engineering projects. And well, our activity, it's mainly international. And our main customers used to be companies related with the automotive sector, so OEMs, but also tier ones, tier twos, public administrations, and so on. Within CTAG, we have different divisions devoted to different purposes. From one side, the materials and manufacture, which is more devoted with the simulation, process engineering, prototyping, materials and processes for research and development. Then we also have a division devoted to the MVH and environmental testing. So we have different types of chambers where we can make different tests like acoustic and vibrations, environmentals, fatigue, materials, mechatronics. On the other side, we have a passive and safety division where we are able to make tests of crashing and retain systems, but this is without destroying the structure of the vehicle. So we're a certified lab for the Euro NCAP. And then finally, the last division, which is the electronics and smart mobility, is the division that I belong to. And we're more devoted with electronics, solutions for the autonomous driving, solutions for the automated driving, connectivity, of course, clean mobility. And we also have specific teams devoted for software and hardware. And then we also are very specialized in the electronics validation. As commented before, our main work is related with engineering services to the automotive sector. That's why in our customers, there are OEMs, there are tier one, tier two, and we also work with the public administrations to take all this research and development and take it to the real life in terms of pilots, in terms of deployments, and different tests. We have a wide experience participating in different types of projects, collaborative projects, international, national, European level, but also international one. The topics that we used to work are more related with connected vehicle, autonomous driving, electric vehicle, smart mobility, comfort, industry 4.0, materials. So finally, this allows us to create different networks of collaboration, work, of course, in the future, in the new trends, and then to also make studies of the new strategic technologies that are coming and that we can include in our projects. Just an overview of our headquarters, which are placed in Spain. And we have different areas for the development, for the testing. Like, for example, in the number 3, we see the ITS proving grounds, which is, in this case, this is a low-speed test track, very flexible, where we are able to make testing of our different systems. We have traffic lights, we have deployment areas, so it's very flexible for us to make the deployments and make all the tests. And specifically, the number 4 is the electronics and ITS mobility, where we're mainly focused in these areas of work: ADAS, vehicle automation, connectivity, clean mobility, comfort and interior. And then we have different teams for the HMI, hardware and software, and validation. In this division, we're around 650 employees, and we are working a lot into the automotive technologies and the mobility sector. I just would like to share a short video. So it's just an overview of our work and our facilities. We were born in the year 2002, and from the year 2005, that was where the electronics and ITS division was born. We're working a lot in different projects. commented, we are able to design and to create hardware and software. So we have our manufacturing lanes for that. And then we integrate our solutions in the vehicle, we make the tests and validation. I think this is a good background in terms that with all the experience and all the skills that we got within our teams, we wanted to also work in products that are not competing with our customers. And that's where the idea of having an autonomous shuttle appeared. So we wanted to have our own products in the automotive sector and putting together all our knowledge in connectivity, in autonomous driving, in interior, user experience, and so on. And that's where the shuttle comes, which is the next section. And with all the different labs we have and the different elements, we were able not just to design and manufacture, but also to test all the parts of our shuttle. This is the proving grounds. And then as a complementation, we also have high speed tracks where we can also make tests in higher speeds with all the safety reasons. So it's very useful. We have ITS corridor, which is more than 200 kilometers, that also allow us to deploy the ITS solutions. And well, this is just in a nutshell a bit what we have and our work. So now going more into detail in the shuttle product, as commented, we wanted to create our products that are not competing with our customers. And that's where it appeared the idea of having an autonomous and electric shuttle, where we can include all our knowledge in the autonomous driving, connected driving, concept and interior, creation of vehicles, and so on. The context for it is that finally the concentration in the urban areas is increasing. So the people more and more want to live in the city centers. And this is finally making new challenges in the mobility needs. So in terms of goods, in terms of people, and so on. Also, new digitalization advances are coming to the connectivity technologies with new opportunities. So finally, we're transforming cities into smart cities that provide sustainable environments to the users and to the living areas. And then the new mode of transport related with the connected and autonomous last mile for passenger, which is the shuttle, are coming to the market. And we saw that it was a very interesting field of work that we can work in order to deploy new intelligent mobility solutions. The market expectations for the shuttles, it's something that it's coming. We see that until the next year, there is a very intense phase of pilots. So there are a lot of pilots in the world that it's finally testing this technology and bringing it into the market. The idea for the next year is that there will be a substantial growth. So finally, there will be growing and growing a bit more the number of autonomous shuttles that we will see in the market until the year 2035. And in terms of our local nation, Spain, it is expected to have the same evolution. Maybe nowadays it's being pushing a little bit more United States or China, but also in Europe there are a lot of initiatives, and finally the market is growing equitative. So what is the shuttle? The shuttle is a last mile passenger transport vehicle, and the idea is that it helps the mobility of people in the urban and rural environments. So what we wanted was to create an autonomous, connected, and electric vehicle where we can include all these functionalities. It should be flexible, so that's why it is designed, developed, and manufactured by ourselves. It means that it's 100% flexible for different use cases, for different needs, for different environments. We wanted to include high technology in terms that finally we work a lot in different technologies in the automotive sector, including, for example, cooperative services, perception, artificial intelligence. So we included all this technology in our own vehicle. And then on the other side, it's something that is futuristic, is attractive. So we also wanted to work a lot in the user experience and in the user perception of the vehicle, what is it transmitting, where is it driving to, and so on. In terms of functionalities, so as commented, it's connected, electric, and autonomous. It has around 11 hours of working autonomy, and it has connectivity, so it is also able to get information from the ITS center, from other vehicles, from the infrastructure, but also to share new information to the environment. So there are different cooperative services that are deployed on it. It's a level 4 automated vehicle, and all the management of the routing and the services, it's made in with artificial intelligence and other intelligent perspectives. In terms of ITS, and as commented, we have a ITS G5 and PC and G5 5G communication unit, and it is able to interact with the city, for example, with the traffic lights, with infrastructure, with other vehicles, even with the users. So there are different cooperative services deployed. We have the GLOSA, the green light optimal speed advice, traffic light priority services. The exterior of the HMI is also sharing information with the users, hazard warnings, cooperative vulnerable road user protections, also remote control of the shuttle. So when it's needed, someone can control it from the outside, cooperative sensing, real-time HD maps, generation for the urban environment, and then intelligent cooperative shuttle station where all the information can be exchanged. You are recording all the timing, waiting times, the profile of the users, and so on. This shuttle can be deployed in multiple operating environments. The idea is that it will be for the urban and rural areas, but it includes different areas, like, for example, special public services, complementing the actual public transport. The idea is not to compete with the public transport, but complementing, adding a new way of mobility that can, for example, serve in the last mile for passengers. Touristic applications, connection of transport hubs, airports, ports, historical centers in the cities, universities, business parks, and, for example, in the resorts and other applications. So the final idea is that it's a vehicle that it's devoted to be deployed in different environments, and as it is totally flexible, we can just record the new track and make it work. We have developed also our fleet management center, so we can see in real time the information of the vehicle, the cameras, the speed, the status of the battery, if there is any notification or alert, and so on. And from this fleet management center, we're also able to remote driving the shuttle when it's needed. So, for example, if there is a situation where it needs to be controlled from outside, we can make it through the management center. Because the idea is to provide a global ecosystem where the vehicle is not an isolated element of the mobility, but it's a connected one, so it can share information with other elements of the infrastructure, other elements of the environment, like the vehicles, like the people, and so on. So we can see here in the image a little bit an overview of different elements connected, and they are exchanging information so they can collaborate for a better mobility within the city. There is also a very interesting area, which is the smart shuttle stations. So in the shuttle stations or shelters, you can also share a lot of information with the passengers. So not just about the route that the vehicle is following, if there is any delay, the timetable, but you can also record information of the people that it's waiting, profile them, so get a bit more about the users, the average time that they are waiting for the shuttle to come, the type of users, and so on. And then, as we have already a product ready for the market, we're going to test it in real environments. We were making different pilots in Spain. We also have good areas where we can make control tests. It includes, for example, hardware in the loop or software in the loop, where before going to the road, we can test hundreds of scenarios with ITS center, with the test tracks, and then different deployments, in this case in our region in Galicia, where we have cooperative systems deployed in urban and within the cities. So all this information can already be shared. We can see how the vehicle reacts and so on. This is an example of the testing improving grounds, in this case in a controlled area, so at CTAG facilities, where we are able to configure different scenarios, to configure specific information to be exchanged, and also to test it. For example, vulnerable road user detection, information for traffic lights, the shuttle stop, and so on. As commented, one of the use cases that we have deployed is the remote driving. So, for example, in this case, the shuttle has a defined route within a lane. The shuttle by itself cannot go out of the lane as it is defined by requirements. So if in any case there is like an obstacle, in this case, for example, a vehicle that is stopped on the road, remotely, a supervisor can take the control of the vehicle and maneuver to overpass this obstacle, and then the shuttle can continue autonomously to work by itself. In this case, we have different cameras, HD cameras, and we have tested it with different communication solutions, 5G, 4G, to see how the delays and the latency can affect to the driving. And we also have defined thresholds where if the quality of the network is below these thresholds, it will not be working, or it will show an emergency notification. So the vehicle is able to adapt itself to the situations. And as another example, we have the cooperative green light optimal speed advice. So the vehicle is receiving in real time the information of the traffic lights. As you see, there are a couple of them in our test track. And according with the current phase and time for the next phase, the vehicle is able to adapt the speed, to brake if it's necessary, or otherwise to avoid the braking and restarting the throttle. So it makes the reduction of the CO2. Also, it's more safety. And in terms of ITS, it's also very interesting use case, the lane merge, cooperative lane merge. So there is a sensor that it's placed on the infrastructure. In this case, it's a fusion between a radar and a camera. It takes information of the vehicle that it's coming from, let's say, a closed point of view for the shuttle. So it has no direct view, but the infrastructure is sharing the information of this vehicle, and the shuttle can react according to it. Yeah, I can show it again. Yeah, so this the infrastructure sensor, it's detecting this vehicle and sharing the information with the shuttle, so it brakes because even if the vision is not that good, it knows that the vehicle is coming in the main lane, so it has to provide priority, and then it can continue. And within the 5G Mobix project, we were making also real tests, in this case, connecting two cities, one in Spain and another in Portugal, which is Tui and Valença, and also using the 5G technology that has been deployed in the domain of the project. So there were a lot of communication between the vehicle, other vehicles, infrastructure, and so on. In this case, it was a camera that was detecting the pedestrian and sharing the information with the shuttle, like a vulnerable road user use case. These two cities are quite famous in the region, as they are both from different countries, and there are like different markets and different activities in all of them. So the idea of having transportation mean that connect both of them, that allow people to move from one side to the other, it was very interesting, and yeah, it was really well accepted by the users. So they are always asking for more of these vehicles and to connect for different activities. Yeah, so our current status is that we have already produced 12 of these units. We are having pilots in different countries. So at the end of the last year, we started to also aim into the Middle East. We are now having 3 different pilots in Middle East. We have done like 12 pilots in Spain, and including Portugal. And the idea is to work more in the pilot phase and also go into deployment. We're including new functionalities in terms of autonomous driving functions, connectivity, comfort, and the user experience. And I think it's very interesting because finally during these years, we have collected a lot of inputs, we have collected a lot of feedback from the users, and it's something that we are continuing applying in our vehicles. So as commented, we are looking for different markets, different opportunities, and the vehicle is also being more mature and being more into the market level. So we are looking for pilots and demonstrations in different cities, as we have been done in Spain, in cities like Madrid, Coruña, Benidorm, here in Seville, and so on. And that's all. Thank you very much for your time.